This week on Instant Experts, the honk is back.
From some very unusual places.
But the world is still in chaos.
From Tehran to Washington to Canberra, the fuckwits are in charge.
And in sport, the West's Tigers get absolutely flogged by the cunts of the week.
And we're not talking about the Cronulla Sharks.
No, although people have their own opinion about them. Welcome back to Instant Experts, Return of the Honk edition.
That is me.
It's all the latest news explained by idiots, here to keep you sane in a crazy world. I'm Henry Lee, and as always, I'm here with my dear friend, the Honk. Honky, welcome.
Henry, my dear fellow, great to be here. Great to be back.
Back from gallivanting.
Back from gallivanting.
How was it? Where was it?
Well, you know where it was. You were invited.
Well, our listeners don't know, Honky.
Our listeners don't care.
Well, that's not true, Honk. There's interest all over the world in the gallivanting of the honk. More of where later, but places like Pearland in Texas, Glendale, Arizona, and Herne Bay in Kent, they all want to know.
Well, if you must know, I was in the US, specifically in New York.
Honky, I am amazed they let you into the US.
You think I'm amazed. After all the terrible things you say about Trump each week, I try to stop you, but your Trump derangement syndrome is just out of fucking control, mate.
So let me guess, you just told ICE it was my fault.
Pretty much. In all seriousness, I did in fact delete every single social media app from my phone, left every single WhatsApp group of which you were also a member.
I know, because we talked about you behind your back the whole time.
Luckily, they were looking for a guy called the Honk, which, believe it or not, is not the name in my passport.
No, that would be Bond, James Bond.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was on in New York, Honky?
Well, again, you know the answer to this. It was a major event we've all been waiting for a very long time.
What, WWE?
No.
UFC?
No, that's at the White House in June, if you can believe it, for real.
A wedding?
Yes.
I don't believe you, Honky.
What do you mean you don't believe me? The groom is a friend of both of ours, and it was his first wedding at the tender age of 53, which you, if I may say, lost a bet on because you said it would never happen.
That is true. But to be fair, I was just trying to encourage him to finally commit. But I know where you really were, Honky.
I told you I was at the wedding. I haven't sent you a copy of my speech.
Yeah, it was very good. It was the best fake speech I've ever read.
You enjoy the fake pictures and the fake videos too?
Oh, Honky, you and I both know what AI can do these days. We play all sorts of crazy clips on the show.
Henry, you finally lost the plot. Out of interest, where do you think I was for my weekend in New York?
I put it to you, Honk. You were at the Met Gala without me.
Yeah, it's true. You got me. It's fashion. Look, what do you want from me? It's fashion's night of night, the night where stars experiment with avant-garde looks too bold to risk at award shows. The superstars of sports, music and screen, they're in ways you've never seen them before.
I knew it. But I want to know, how the hell did you get in, Honky?
Well, if you were listening to me, which you never do, as I said, stars, they are huge fans of our show. Well, of me on my show.
Your show, yeah.
Yeah, avant-garde look. They heard you mention my previously unique audio recording combo of old Balmain Tigers hoodie and Stephen Sondheim T-shirt. And they just assumed I was making a statement about mental illness among the homeless. Also, there were a fuckload of no-shows and boycotts this year over Jeff Bezos paying $10 million for his wife, Lauren Dirty Sanchez, to be the main sponsor while he's been ripping off his workers at Amazon. Anyway, I'm sorry, Henry. I just had to be there. And I'm sorry, listeners, there are only so many men in wrestling trunks I can take before I need some Beyonce in a breathtaking silver skeleton gown making her return to the Met for the first time in 10 years.
Oh, my God, Honky. Despite the personal snub, I have to confess I am also excited. This is our straightest segment ever, possibly. Who else did you like on the red carpet?
Besides Beyonce, who else did I like?
Yeah.
Well, I also like Beyonce because not only did she wow the crowd with her Olivier Rousteing, great designer, Rousteing. She then changed into a second outfit, this one a Robert Woon number called the Stargaze gown, quote, inspired by the view from a night plane over a coastal city, seeing the earth as a golden constellation.
Wow, so Beyonce wore two outfits in one night.
Yes, and this one was black for the sky and gold for the stars with, get this, are you ready? I don't know if you're ready. Swarovski crystals all over it and no fewer than 318,000 stitches, all with her daughter, Blue Ivy, attending for the first time. And I'm here to tell you, she is a dead ringer for Queen Bey. The kid is gorgeous.
Well, Honky, that sounds absolutely marvellous. And I do have to say the dress is delightful. Did any other looks catch your eye?
There were so many. Tiana Taylor from One Battle After Another in a frosty fringe Tom Ford outfit.
Oh, absolutely stunning, Honky.
Chase Infinity, also from One Battle After Another, in a primary colour. Tom Brown, inspired by the Venus de Milo.
Oh, Honky smoking.
To die for. And, of course, music star Gracie Abrams, daughter of the director J.J. Abrams, director of the Star Wars reboot and the writer of Armageddon, creator of Lost, among many other things. And Gracie Abrams was in a flesh and gold Chanel Marvel, inspired by none other than Gustav Klimt.
Honky, it's a knockout.
It's a knockout. Look, I am sorry to accept an invite without you.
Actually, I was invited too, Honk, but I was arrested on arrival by ICE and detained for the week in El Salvador.
Oh, no.
But the TV coverage was a huge hit in the prison.
I can only imagine. What was your personal favourite?
Look, I couldn't go past my crush of the Winter Olympics, Honky, triple gold medalist, model, and international relations major at Stanford, Little Miss February, Eileen Gu. Now, the dress she wore, Honk, was incredible. It was called the Aero dress, and it's a teacup style designed by Iris Van Herpen, a former ballerina herself, that not only had 15,000 individual bubbles attached to it, but it also blew bubbles as she was walking down the red carpet, representing the lightness and grace of the skier herself as she won gold in big air.
Actually, I was behind Eileen Gu, and I'm here to tell you those weren't bubbles she was blowing. I'm pretty sure she hit the taco stand first and found out the hard way she's celiac. had to step around the mines on the red carpet like it was the Strait of Hormuz. But I will admit, she did look pretty good. No Hulk Hogan, but it'll have to do.
Well, folks, as I said, that was our straightest segment ever. We're just two middle-aged white guys who happen to enjoy directional fashion. What's wrong with that? And Honk, it is good to have you back.
It is good to be back. And if there's anything wrong with that, I don't want to be right. I don't know about you. By the way, Met Gala ticket was $75,000, by the way, so you owe me $37,500. Do you like my US military backdrop? This is how I redecorated my house just before I traveled to the US, just in case I was under surveillance.
Yeah, it looks like Kid Rock's toilet.
Oh, thank you. That's what I was going for.
Now, Honky, normally at the top of the show, I ask you what caught your eye this week, but I think you've answered that. It's obviously Beyonce.
Yes, and normally this show is about crooks, fuckwits and morons, not high fashion.
And it will be again right after we do shout-outs to listeners. It's not like the crooks, fuckwits and morons took a break just because we did.
To the contrary, there is just so much to get through. Trump's assassination attempt.
Yeah, an actual one this time.
Yeah, an actual one. The latest in Iran, the West Tigers, and Connard of the Week.
Yes, not to be confused with Canard of the Week, which would be Duck of the Week, I think.
Yes, not to be confused with that. No, this one's strictly about the duckwits, the duckles, and the mother duckers, if you know what I mean. Now, where have people been listening and watching from?
Well, watching we don't know, Honky, because YouTube doesn't tell us, but we know from our secret Squirrel podcast app that listeners are tuning in from all over Australia and all around the world. Now, we mentioned a couple earlier, but also places like Barnet in North London, most famous perhaps for Barnet Fair, which became rhyming slang for hair.
Who knew?
I knew that. But it's also famous for the suburb of Cockfosters, which I find one of the hardest suburbs of London to say with a straight face.
Cockfosters is notoriously hard. Rock hard.
and hard to foster, Honky.
At least with a straight face. I'm told. I'm told. I wouldn't know.
That's certainly what they said in the El Salvador prison. We have a listener this week in Busan, the great port of South Korea.
Home, of course, of the Busan International Film Festival.
Yes. To quote Reg Regan, Honky, bring back the biff.
Yeah, indeed.
And Honk, Lorient in Morbihan in France. One of our regulars who I always thought was the Moose, but the Moose has moved, as he told us a few weeks back, and the listener is still there.
Yes, the Moose was in Clermont-Ferrand, which is in south-central France, where the shit is real. Lorient is on the west coast of Brittany, just on or up from the Bay of Biscay.
Right you are. But, Honky, the location of the week is another French title. It's Lomé. Now, do you have any idea where Lomé is?
None. Is it near Beyonce?
No, I think that's Solange. Lomé is in Togo.
Now, where's Togo? I know it's in Africa somewhere, but I'm just not quite sure where.
Well, I confess I had to look it up as well. Togo is wedged between Ghana to the west and Benin to the east. And just on the other side of Benin, which is a very narrow little country, is Nigeria. It's all kind of tucked up there under the Horn of Africa.
Under the Horn, near Cockfosters. Actually, is it near Ouagadougou?
Well, it is near Ouagadougou. In a general sense, Ouagadougou is to the north in Burkina Faso, about a 16-hour drive. But I think the listener might well be our show regular, Jez from Ouagadougou in transit, because while Togo, like Burkina Faso, used to be part of French West Africa, unlike Burkina Faso, which is landlocked, Togo has beaches. Togo actually means by the water in the local language.
There you go.
And that was a bit of an upgrade, Honky, from its former name.
What was that?
The Slave Coast. So a canny bit of rebranding there by Togo.
Togo tourism, always on the ball. Well, thank you for listening, Togo. And thank you to our listeners and viewers for listening and watching, all of you. Thank you.
Okay, Honk, it's been a very silly show so far, even by our low standards, probably because it's our first day back at school after your trip, but we'd better get on with the hard news.
The rock hard news.
Yes, the Cockfosters news.
Yeah, there's actually a very good pub in Cockfosters.
Well, it's in England. I'm sure there is.
Yes, but it's the name. It's actually called the Cock.
Is it hard to get in?
Only for about 5 minutes. 10 on a good day. Once a week.
Okay, it's really time for the news.
The Cock is a real pub.
I believe you. I believe you. All right.
So are these pubs. These are all real. Sirloin of beef.
Yeah.
The Cock and the Spread Eagle. Fanny on the Hill. The Knob. The Bishop's Finger. The Fighting Cocks.
Cocks
the Ram.
Are always fighting, aren't they?
The Ram. The Back Door. The Slag Lane. The Beaver Inn. All in real English pubs. The Gate Hangs Well. Yorkshire's The Muff Diver. And of course, who could forget Donkey on Fire?
I almost believe you. Okay, Honk. Time for the news, as I've said a few times now, and time for American Carnage, a segment we actually haven't done for a little while.
Well, it's all been American and Iranian and Strait of Hormuz carnage for a few weeks, hasn't it?
It has,
and that's still going on in the usual way, with both sides trying to find an off-ramp, although Iran is denying it's looking for an off-ramp and the US is denying it needs one, although it does say that peace talks are going well while Iran says they're not going at all.
Yeah, so system's normal.
Yeah, well, hopefully its system's actually normal soon, otherwise we're going to be in a world of pain. Inflation's already rampant in Australia. It's nearly 5%, I think.
It is,
and,
yeah.
And the Reserve Bank in Australia has responded to the increase in costs for ordinary Australians by increasing interest rates, which increases the cost of their mortgages as well.
Yeah, which is their biggest cost in most cases. But mortgage payments, for some reason, aren't included in inflation statistics for reasons best known to an economist, presumably with a fondness for smoking crack.
Jeez, that's very, very strange, isn't it? Yeah. Biggest cost, that is, Henry, mortgages after tax, which the government in Australia is about to increase also. The federal budget in this country is next Tuesday.
Yeah, but they're only increasing capital gains tax, Honk, so it's only a problem if you've saved and invested. So you've only got a problem if you've invested in shares or in an investment property or in a place to live and your mortgage payments have gone up, or like to drive places or like to eat or want to fund your own retirement. Everything's good.
Thank God most people in Australia are so shit broke. The capital gains tax never enters into it. But the government says this is about creating intergenerational equity, Henry. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, said so.
Yeah.
I would have thought doing something about negative gearing would be the answer to helping younger and less well-off people afford a house. You know, like an actual policy instead of just whacking on another tax.
Well, they're scrapping negative gearing too, I think, Honky, but unless it's grandfathered, rents will go up or a whole bunch of tenants will be evicted so the house can be sold. So I'll be pleased to learn how unilaterally increasing taxes and rents helps young people. But
that's an intriguing conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah, in this case, I think intergenerational equity just means fucking everybody equally.
Well, it wouldn't be an Australian government, would it?
Yeah, good luck saving for a house, kids, because not only do they all cost $8 million, if you save up for a few years via the share market, we'll take a third of the gains in tax, then another third in inflation, and you can have what's left over. Good luck.
See above my reference to mental illness among the homeless.
Indeed.
By the way, I thought this was American Carnage, Henry, not middle-aged white guy pre-budget whining carnage.
You're fine, but I'll be back with a full report on the budget next week when the facts are known.
Yes, see you next Tuesday for the budget, I mean. But in all seriousness, you do have a point, by the way, about this tax increase stuff not really solving the housing crisis.
No, it's not that complicated. We need more houses or fewer people.
Yeah.
But anyway, more next week. What caught your eye while you were away?
Well, lots of things. As we said, first of all, we mentioned the assassination attempt on President Trump, or at least the attempted assassination attempt, as the guy didn't get close enough even to take a shot.
Yeah, that was at the White House Correspondents Dinner, wasn't it? Were you in the US already? Did you stop by en route to the Met?
It was before I left, and I deny all knowledge.
Well, normally when you're guilty, you plead the fifth.
It happened on Anzac Day, actually, the day of our last episode. Not that anyone in the US was celebrating either of those things, and was supposed to be Trump's big return to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, of course, after he'd had a multi-year sook because he thought the media was, quote, a bunch of fake news liberals who hate me.
So at least some of that is true.
And he was the first sitting president not to attend in 36 years, I think, when he first skipped it in 2017.
That's right. But now he's sacked all the White House correspondents, Honky, so he can come back. I mean, it's basically Laura Loomer, isn't it? And Friends, his crazy alleged ex-squeeze.
Yeah, Laura Loomer and the lifestyle reporter from Cockfosters magazine.
Hugh Grant, horse and hound style. Sirloin of beef bulletin.
But anyway, Trump's attending for the first time as president this year when a 31-year-old guy named Cole Allen, a mechanical engineer and college prep teacher from California with zero previous criminal history, burst through this hotel security, in fact, through a metal detector with a rifle and knives. He shot at a Secret Service officer before charging towards the function room where Trump was, but he then tripped before getting in there.
He tripped?
He actually tripped. The Secret Service agent shot at him. This is amazing. If you see the video of it, the Secret Service agent shot at him 5 times and missed, but he tripped on a box.
That's high security right there, Honky. My son uses the same technique to guard his room. He just leaves random shit between the door and the bed.
Not the first miss by the Secret Service either. There was the attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania a couple of years ago, I remember, while Trump was campaigning.
Oh, well, I got to ask the hard question, Honk. Do you think that was real?
Well, there's a big question whether Trump's ear bleed was real. I'm not sure it was a bullet. It might have been shrapnel at best. But the assassin himself was definitely real. I mean, he did fire multiple shots and actually killed someone in the crowd before himself being shot.
Yeah, by the Secret Service, I think.
Yeah, but their job is to shoot the assassin before he shoots at the president, not after.
Yeah, but the problem, Honk, is that when everyone in a country has a gun, everyone can be a gunman. And you don't really know until they start firing.
You sound like the Australian Federal Police at the current Bondi Massacre Royal Commission. More on which later. A few other little interesting quirks of this Trump assassination story, though. The first, the irony that this is the same hotel where President Reagan was shot, the Washington Hilton.
Right.
And they use it because there's a special secure corridor for the president to enter and exit that they put in after Kennedy was shot.
How was Reagan shot if they already had a secure corridor after Kennedy was shot?
Because he was shot outside in the 9 meters between the corridor and his car. If you remember, his press secretary, Reagan's press secretary, James Brady, was permanently disabled and died from his injuries many years later, while Reagan was himself lucky to survive.
Yeah, I remember when it happened. It was John Lennon, then Reagan. The guy's name was Hinckley from memory, and he was famously trying to impress Jodie Foster, with whom he was obsessed.
Yeah, good quality nut job, that guy. And in fact, he was never convicted either of the attempted murder of President Reagan or of the actual murder of James Brady. On grounds of insanity, he was sent to a psychiatric institution instead.
Right, but it's kind of the same thing, though, in the end, isn't it? They just lock him away forever and throw away the key.
Well, not really, because fucking this guy was released 10 years ago and he's still alive. He's only 70 now. He does art and he has his own YouTube channel.
Really? That's amazing. I had no idea. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's totally fucked.
Everybody deserves a second chance to shoot another president.
Yeah, and become an artist on YouTube. The second quirk of this story is why the Secret Service may have missed this Cole Allen guy to start with. My own theory is distraction. I don't know if you saw this news this week that one of these Secret Service agents' colleagues, another Secret Service agent, was arrested this week naked and masturbating. the aptly named John Spillman.
No way.
At a Hilton in Miami, where he was supposed to be doing security ahead of Trump's visit to the PGA golf there.
You sure he wasn't at the Hilton Cockfosters? That probably explained why Cole Allen, the would-be assassin, tripped over Honky. He was running for his life from all the frantic jerking off.
Didn't want to get hit by a bullet or anything else. But the last little quirk here is that Trumpy still seems to have the horn for handsome young hunky men, as we've covered the last 2 weeks on the show. We're going to play you Instagram's Branson Gates. He's a gay comic who mimes Trump's exact unvarnished words to the press to point out just how homoerotic they are. So here is Branson Gates mouthing Trump when Trump was being asked about the assassination attempt.
There were a number of people who were very, very scared.
Yeah.
How worried were you that there were going to be injuries?
I wasn't worried. I understand life. We live in a crazy world. I did want to see what was happening because I did watch because I could see what was going on at the door. I also saw a lot of very strong, physically strong, really attractive law enforcement people come through those doors. And frankly, it made me feel very safe, very, very safe. There's nobody going to get by them.
The counter-assault team that comes in.
Yeah, they were very impressive. I think they were very impressive.
He does fine work, young Branson. I think he's hilarious. But Honk, I'm no fan of Trump, as you know, and as in fact he pointed out, but I'm not sure we should be excited about people shooting presidents.
I've got the Ayatollah on line 1 and the Ayatollah after him on line 2.
That's fair. Who gave you the phone, Honk?
I think it's Gold Star Industries of Taiwan/Tel Aviv, and it was free.
Touche. Honky, what else is happening?
Oh, so much. In fact, we might have to do them as some quick shots, and there are some beauties. To kick off, they have released, allegedly, Jeffrey Epstein's suicide note, or at least the note he left before, I think, his first attempt, which was unsuccessful.
Right. And what did it say? I'm a cunt. Goodbye.
I hope that's all it said. Sadly, no. It said, quote, they investigated me for a month. Sick. Right. Found nothing. So 15-year-old charges resulted. It is a treat to be able to choose one's time to say goodbye. What you want me to do? Bust out crying? Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. No fun, underlined. Not worth it, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Wait, it said they investigated me for a month?
That's what it said.
So it's not just that his emails are full of typing errors. He's actually just illiterate.
Yeah, he's just a fucking moron. That's all he was. I also like how he says he didn't do it, just said they found nothing.
Yes, and 15-year-old charges resulted. Jeffrey, I don't know about you, but I think the 15-year-olds were the fucking problem.
I would say. Another thing that happened in the last couple of weeks while I was in the US was that Prince Charles visited.
He visited you?
Well, that's the thing. Everyone assumed he was visiting President Trump. He made a good speech to Congress as well, gently sticking it up Trump over not supporting Ukraine. But maybe he was visiting me.
Right. Why do you say that?
Because they put up a stream of Australian flags on his arrival.
They didn't know the difference. They just saw the Union Jack in the corner.
They did not know the difference. Why did he just started They did not know the difference.
He is king of Australia, technically speaking. He's actually king of you, Honk.
He's the king of you too.
I'm Irish, Honky. I don't recognise his sovereignty.
Yeah, that's why I said it. You should tell Prince Charles that too. By the way, the English love it when the Irish stand up to them. It always goes incredibly well for the Irish.
Yeah, just be careful going back to your car. Now, Honky, I've got one. Last episode, we did the story about Kash Patel's alleged drinking problem down at the Poodle Room.
I think you'll find it's the Pink Pony Club.
Yeah, or the Blue Oyster.
Maybe even the Cock in Barnet.
And the gate hangs well. Anyway, this week it emerges that our Kash has twice been arrested for public urination after a night of drinking.
Recently? Like since he's been at the FBI?
Maybe, but no, he was actually in his 20s. I think he was still at college.
Come on, Henry. Who hasn't done that?
Well, no comment. But, Honky, as you must know, the social contract of the nature pee...
The outdoor pee, you mean?
Yeah, is not to be detected. Out of sight, out of smell, out of mind. Everybody knows that.
He might have been undercover. There's no way the cops would have thought he was future head of the FBI, right?
No, but he should have used a different name in that case, Honky, surely.
Well, maybe he did. Maybe his name's actually Kash Patel. But he's so pissed they wrote down Cash and he rolled with it. What's your name, son? Cash. It's Kash Patel.
That I could actually believe. What else?
Last one. A former New York mayor and disgraced Trump fixer/lawyer Rudy Giuliani has been in a critical condition in a Florida hospital.
Right. What's wrong with him?
Well, pneumonia. I mean, he's a cunt. but on this occasion, pneumonia.
Okay, are you sure he's not in a critical condition at Four Seasons Total Landscaping?
You think he saw the bargains and he collapsed in shock?
Where he had that famous press conference.
Yeah. I'm actually
supposed to be
worried.
the Four Seasons Hotel.
Indeed. That would explain why the medical care is so bad. Trying to fix him with a garden trowel.
With a plant.
I'm actually worried that the guy's dead already. I mean, take a look at him here in this photo. I mean, if he turns into an actual corpse, will anybody notice?
And to be fair, Honky, he is a pretty old guy now. He's 81. And I prefer to remember him in happier times when he was a more robust man with the hair dye running down his face.
Oh, yes, the notorious. We're putting up for listeners the notorious photo of him at a press conference with the freshly dyed hair and the running down both sides of his face. Anyway, we wish him a speedy recovery. Actually, no, we don't. Fuck him. He's a cunt.
He certainly is. Now, speaking of speedy recoveries, Honk, it's time for sport, and we are definitely wishing for a speedy recovery from our beloved West Tigers.
Yes, our beloved formerly and possibly currently shithouse football team from the National Rugby League here in Australia that was briefly second or on some views equal first on the ladder.
That's right, and whose last glorious victory you attended and which you told us all about on the last show.
So what do we think happened?
Well, they missed your support, Honky, because while you were away, they got absolutely rogered. They lost 52-10 to the Cronulla Sharks, which was previously the only team in the entire league against whom the Tigers have a winning record. Now, admittedly, 4 of our star players were out and another 2 got injured during the game, but still, it was not good.
So just remind me, who got injured?
Well, our star halfback, Adam Dewey, got injured, but he got injured scoring a try.
Is there anything more West Tigers than that? Can't even score a try without going to hospital.
He dislocated his shoulder, putting the ball down over the line 9 minutes into the game.
Did the other guy get killed signing an autograph or picking up the kicking team?
Well, he broke his foot pretty much standing there. It might have been doing a light jog. He wasn't touched or tackled or anything. It just broke when he planted it.
Broke when he planted it.
Boom, boom. Well done, Dad.
So where does that leave us for the poor Tigers?
Well, we're still 5-3, 5 wins, 3 losses, and 5th on the ladder. But we've got, unfortunately, Larry, Curly, and Mo in the team for the next few weeks with all the injuries. And those lads are still tired after our last episode, Honky.
You forgot to mention the best bit, which is our captain defecting to Papua New Guinea.
That's right. Our star signing of 2 years ago, the current captain, Jerome Luai, has signed with the new Papua New Guinea team, the Chiefs, from 2028.
You can hardly blame him, given he'll be paid, I think it's $1.2 million a year plus tax-free. Plus he'll be 30, which is 145 years old in rugby league years. So, he's about to fall apart. And he's already won 4 premierships, not with us, of course, with Penrith.
Right, that's why we signed him. I think it's fair for Luai to set himself up, and he's already done good stuff for the Tigers in the short time he's been here. And to be honest, it will free up some salary cap space to keep some of our other good players. So I'm okay with it.
Sounds to me like you are desperately rationalising.
I am desperately rationalising. We're heading down again, Honky. It's happening.
It was
again.
It was so fun while it briefly lasted.
Oh, as we've said before, Honky, it is the hope that kills you.
Never was a phrase more aptly designed for the West Tigers, was it?
The other big news in sport when you were away was the London Marathon. I don't follow marathon running closely, not since the golden days of Rob de Castella.
Oh, Rob de Castella, the magnum PI of marathons. One of the great 80s marathoners, one of the great 80s moustaches.
Yeah.
Grew it in the 70s and it just kept punching through.
Yeah, the moustache is still going. It's a marathon moustache as well. So Deke, as he was always known, actually broke the world record for the marathon in 1981, where he ran 2 hours, 8 minutes, 18 seconds. And ever since then, and probably since before that, they've been trying to get down under 2 hours for the marathon. Sort of became the new 4-minute mile.
And you're saying in London someone actually did it?
They did.
Some Ethiopian guy, am I right?
Spot on. There's a guy called Yomif Kejelcha ran it in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 41 seconds.
That's incredible. I mean, he smashed it. He got under 2 hours by 19 seconds. He must have been pumped. Well, pumped as well as fucking rooted.
Yeah. Well, Honk, I think he might just have been rooted because there was a small catch.
What was the catch?
A Kenyan guy ran it even faster.
Oh, what? Come on.
A guy called Sebastian Sowie ran it in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 30 seconds. So he finished 11 seconds ahead. So Yomif Kejelcha is the Larry Doby of running.
Who's Larry Doby?
Well, exactly, Honky. Larry Doby was the second black American ever to play Major League Baseball. The black players having been excluded for years, of course, so much so that they set up their own leagues known as the Negro Leagues. Larry Doby came into the majors 3 months after Jackie Robinson, whom everybody's heard of, and nobody ever talks about Larry, even though he won the World Series the following year and hit 273 home runs in his career.
Larry Doby is like the Buzz Aldrin of black sports stars.
yeah, something like that.
Well, all of that is depressing, Henry, for Larry, for Yomif, for the West Tigers, but not nearly as depressing as the arseholes that we are about to unsalute, because it is time once again, as it always is, and we have a doozy for you this week. It is time for Cunt of the Week. Music, please. I'm a cunt. First off, Henry, we mentioned the attempted Trump assassination at the White House Correspondents Dinner, and we wondered about the quality of the Trump nut types approved to attend. And these people proved their worth during the panic of the shooting when a number of these staffers and journos were filmed using the confusion to steal whole bottles of wine and stash them in their bags and even in their clothes, like in their pants and so forth.
Well, come on, Honk, they're journos. Of course they stole the wine. But I also like friend of the show, Health Secretary RFK Jr., who was there and proved his own valor during the shooting by letting himself be escorted out by the Secret Service while forgetting about his own wife. The actress from Curb Your Enthusiasm and many other things, Cheryl Hines. We'll put the link in our show notes. It's absolutely insane.
As they say, character is action under pressure.
Indeed. But to be fair, maybe he was there with another woman.
You can't rule it out. Can't rule it out. Laura Loomer.
She was under the table.
RFK Jr.'s had a bonds a couple of weeks. You pointed this out to me. It came out this week that the US Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, which reports to RFK Jr., has been caught blocking the release of research showing that COVID and shingles vaccines were safe because RFK Jr. doesn't like vaccines.
And you know who does like COVID and shingles vaccines, Honky? People with COVID and shingles.
Babies and old people.
Yeah. What a gimp. What an old gimp. Oh, dear me.
But Henry, Australia has produced a magnificent bunch of cunts too.
Australia does a beautiful line on official cunts. I did speak to Telstra yesterday and they were among them. But people somehow made responsible for the most vulnerable members of our society and then insist on treating them like complete dog shit. Case in point, at Adelaide Airport, the person in charge of the disabled pickup zone who last week saw an old woman drive up saw her son waiting for her in a wheelchair with his service dog and refused to let her pick up her wheelchair-bound son because she'd forgotten her disabled notice for her car dashboard.
You, sir, are a prize cunt. You have done Australia proud.
But I see you, and I raise you some Australian state government-sanctioned murder. Now, I know,
Oh, that sounds bad.
I know I love bashing the current Victorian Labor government, and rightly so, may I say, but surely even you can get behind me on this one. During COVID, the then Premier Dan Andrews comprehensively fucked up the state's response.
He notoriously presided over those aged care homes in Melbourne where COVID was allowed to sort of run rampant, sweep through and kill great swathes of old people, didn't he?
Yeah, it was like 800 plus people died. But his government also presided over this doozy of cuntiosity. So in October 2021, a guy called Nick Panagiotopoulos had a heart attack and his wife called the emergency line 000, our version of 911. And the Victorian Emergency Response Standard requires a call to be answered in 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nick Panagiotopoulos died, aged 47, father of 3, because his wife's call wasn't answered in 5 seconds. It was answered after 16 minutes.
My God.
The Victorian coroner found this week that this man's death was totally preventable and that for 18 months before he died, the Victorian government had known it was failing its own emergency standard.
Unbelievable.
Now, Honk, what do you think the CEO of the Victorian 000's response was? Quote, in 2021, during the pandemic, our organisation did not meet the standard of service the community expects. You reckon?
Fucking wait a second. We can't murder the people. We can't murder this. That's bad. Is that bad?
You just got to wait 15 minutes and hope they die of natural causes.
Unbelievable, appalling. And yet, Henry, and yet, And yet, you mentioned earlier in the show the Bondi Massacre Royal Commission that's currently happening in Australia. It's an inquiry into the extent and the nature of anti-Semitism in Australia and social cohesion and various other things. The commissioner, who's a former very distinguished justice of our High Court, our equivalent of the US Supreme Court, Virginia Bell, has been hearing harrowing stories this week from Aussie Jews about their experiences of violence and abuse since the Hamas attack on Israel of October the 7th, 2023, and then Israel's military response in Gaza, all leading up, of course, to the shocking events last December here in Sydney of 15 people, I think 14 of them Jews, being shot dead at Bondi Beach by two extreme Islamist nutjobs. It's really harrowing stuff that's coming out of this Royal Commission. And some people have taken the opportunity of the Royal Commission to proudly show what magnificently stupid anti-Semitic cunts they are. Congratulations, first of all, to the Year 12 kid at the private Sydney Grammar School, suspended this week during all this for making an AI video of a Jewish classmate showing the kid running around trying to grab money. The age-old anti-Semitic stereotype. Though kudos to the other kids who told their teachers and parents about it.
They only suspended him, Honk. I mean, what do you have to do to get expelled at grammar? Do you actually have to work at Auschwitz on Thursday nights and Saturdays?
They should have expelled this kid for missing the whole point of going to grammar, which is to chase money. and even more importantly, and even bigger muzzle tov to this fine gentleman, Ian Minus, age 68 of Killarney Heights. Look him up. He proudly turned up yesterday outside the Royal Commission into anti-Semitism wearing this T-shirt. For listeners, the T-shirt has a Star of David in the middle of a swastika and the words, quote, anti-Semitism, proud to be accused. No, he's been arrested.
That's absolutely majestic country, Honky. But surely the cunt of the week belongs to the other extremist nutbar who stabbed 3 people in London this past week.
Ah, yes, that fine gentleman, Essa Suleiman, British national, Somali background, usual deal, long track record of violence, mental health problems, leaves a halfway house, goes to his Muslim mate's place, stabs and tries to kill the Muslim mate. Then he goes to North London, Golders Green, where a good number of Orthodox Jews live, and stabs and tries to kill any Jewish person he can see. He manages to stab and severely injure 2 Orthodox Jewish men. Absolute prize cunt.
Golders Green is in Barnet, by the way. Did you know that?
I did not know.
It's only 18 relaxing minutes from the Cock Inn. But you can pop in to the Cock Inn.
But just returning to the anti-Semitic murder attempt for a moment. So, Essa Suleiman, if you don't mind. Essa Suleiman is a prize cunt, but there's also Zach Polanski, UK leader of the Greens, who, as his name suggests, is actually Jewish, if you can believe this, who shared video of this fucking nutjob's arrest in the course of accusing the UK police of police brutality in arresting the guy. The
guy stabbed 3 people.
Yeah, and the cops turned up in about 3 or 4 minutes. So think about how much worse it could have been, right? They tasered the bloke.
In Victoria, they would have been there in 20 minutes. 16 minutes for the phone call and 4 minutes to turn up.
20 years. Wouldn't be there another 19 years. These cops turned up in 3 or 4 minutes. They tasered this fucking guy. They thought he had explosives, and he still wouldn't release his knife. So they were sort of holding him down and dragging him around on the ground to try and get him to release his knife. And Polanski accuses the cops of police brutality. Now, Polanski has since apologised.
Yeah, but he's still a remarkable cunt. I mean, come on.
Unbelievable. Can you imagine what the level of a mind that's your first thought, not how terrible these stabbings are. Anyway.
He is in the Greens, so.
Yeah, indeed. And yet neither of these guys...
Brains are not a strong point.
No. And yet neither of these guys is still our cunt of the week. Now, slightly better news. We have talked before on this show about there being broadly 2 kinds of cunts, shit cunts and good cunts. This week's winner, I'm happy to say, and maybe for the first time, this week's winner is a good cunt. Kemi Badenoch, MP, come on down. Now, Kemi Badenoch is the fairly new leader of the UK opposition, leader of the UK Conservative Party, a youngish, mid-40s, black woman brought up in predominantly Muslim Nigeria.
Just east of Togo.
Just east of Togo, even
and
better.
Benin.
Just east of, and Benin. And this week, she fronted the media at the side of the Golders Green stabbings of these 2 Orthodox Jewish men, condemning anti-Semitism in Britain in the strongest terms, when she was confronted by a total fuckwit, who I think, it's hard to know because the person is so intensely stupid, tried to criticise Badenoch, I think, for opposing anti-Semitism in Britain right after these stabbings. Anyway, this was Kemi Badenoch's response, and let's just say I don't think a certain someone will be needing a bowel checkup for quite some time. Listen and watch this.
From the Muslim people, though.
That's it.
People who've died and who've been killed were Jewish people in synagogues. Let's stop pretending that something else is happening.
But this
Thank
isn't
you.
about...
No, it is. It very much is. It very much is. It very much is about Jewish people. And you can say all that you like, but this is how the 1930s started, with people pretending not to see what was happening in front of them. I am not blind. I can see. No. I'm telling people the truth, and they will always know that I stand behind Jewish people and I stand for them. I'm sorry, but I disagree with you. You just have to accept that. Yes, that's too bad. That's too bad. People know where I stand, and I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm not pandering to the far right. What I am doing is supporting. No. What I'm doing is supporting Jewish people from the sort of ignorance people like you put out there, and I will never be intimidated by it.
I was absolutely thrilled by that, Honky. A politician with an actual spine. My question is, are they legal in Australia?
Clearly not.
Would she be allowed in? And can't you just hear all the white Anglo woke-aramas in torment?
Henry, she's black, but she likes Jews, but she's a conservative, but she's a woman. I'm so triggered right now. I need a matcha. Oh, wait, the Japanese, is that cultural appropriation? Oh, my God.
Well, Kemi Badenoch, a new hero of mine, a good cunt, and I think second ever, actually, good cunt of the week.
Here we go, second ever, but what a triumph.
Well, folks, that's all we have time for. The Honk's jet-lagged and tired after his gallivanting. Thanks, as always, for joining us. You can watch us on YouTube if you're not already. You can drop us a like or a comment there. We love reading them. YouTube links in our show notes. You can also find us on all the audio platforms and on Spotify. You can be a kink. You can go both ways. You can watch or listen or both at the same time. Find us in all the usual social media locations, especially TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for our short clips. And please share us with your friends on your socials, WhatsApp groups, and so on. And please rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps us grow the show.
Yes, indeed. Now, check out our show notes, please, which we mentioned, which are a rundown of what's in the show. From those show notes, you can send us a text and we'll read it on the show. From those show notes, you can also send us a voicemail directly and we'll play it on the show. And do read our show notes, as we always say, for extra jokes so dumb you would swear they were written by Ian Minus, age 68 of Kalani Heights, in close collaboration with Fanny on the Hill from Kemi Badenoch's Golders Green press conference.
They wrote it in the front bar of the Cock.
Sure did.
We'll be back next week at the usual time of ASAP on Saturday, Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, but before we go, we like to finish with some audio/video of particular crookery, fuckwitticism, or moronification, authenticness. Our first this week is the UK stand-up Simon Brodkin explaining in pithy terms just how bad anti-Semitism in England has gotten.
And then from the exceptional @Hi Josh, a frighteningly believable fake lip reading of the Honk's favourite event of the year, the New York Met Gala.
Please enjoy both, and we'll be back next week because, as the great Henry Lee always says.
What did you wear to the Met Gala, by the way? Did you wear that denim jacket and the Instant Expert's hat?
Why are you asking? So next year people can confuse Sam Smith with you? There I am.
You look fabulous. I knew it. Okay, folks, as we always say on the show, stupid never sleeps. See you next week.
I'm so worried about the rise in hate, I've recently applied for a German passport. For real, yeah. Now, you know things are bad when Jews start thinking, should we give it another bash?
Move it, you pathetic dork. Oh, sorry. They work so hard. I have to be nice.
Me go to bed now.
How you feeling, Kylie?
It's really cold. Mm-hmm.
Hope you're enjoying your night, Margot.
Oh, thank you. The toilets smell amazing.
Oh, my breath is so bad. This was a huge mistake.
You dropped something.
Back that way? That must be my plug. Okay, you're causing me all this trauma. This is hot. Do you mind if I tip? Here, let me fix your antennas.
I'm a little bit nervous. There's all these people and stuff.
Milkshake? Hey, can you shave my armpits? Yeah?
Interesting look.
Well, maybe what you're wearing looks stupid. I'm gonna kick your butt. You're really, really annoying.
How'd you do your hair?
A vacuum. I don't think I like you. Oh. I just have to fix something. Don't you touch me. Sorry. You've had your fun, now move along.
My wedgie is crazy. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Tic-tac-toe. Do you have any snacks? Yeah.